like think publisher, advertiser, marketer.
Right.
Talk about your point of view of podcasting as a marketing play.
I think it is a great way to market. I think, my opinion, not to say anything bad about this podcast, it's much more efficient to get your people on other podcasts than it is to start your own podcast. As you all know, starting your own podcast, and you guys have done a great job, it requires like an investment, and it has to be really good and professional. And then you do all that, and it's like, who's going to listen to it? Yep. How many people are going to listen? How am I going to have an impact? But even if you don't,
it's a really great question.
Even if you don't have like thousands or hundreds of thousands of listeners, you guys, and you know this, you're able to chop up the content, put it on socials. It can be email drip. It can be autoplay. You can use the content in a billion different ways. It can be a blog post. It's great for SEO, blah, blah, blah. So I think marketing, doing your own podcast is great. It just requires a significant investment, more so than people realize. And then also just leveraging other people's audiences to be a thought leader in whatever it is, payroll, whatever it may be, to say like, hey, this is like a world expert on this, and a very niche audience who's really interested in payroll, which exists, which is crazy.
It is crazy.
That's the advantage of podcasts. Like you can get a thought leader on a podcast with 800 listeners who are like all your most perfect buyers in the world, whether that's like, I don't know, people who run foundations, or like we have wildly niche. We have a rhino foundation, like to save the rhinos, and they get on podcasts specifically for like the people that whoever they need to reach. Rhino people, I don't know.
I mean, there's ones on crochet and all these wild things that you would never think anybody.
Yeah. So the earned media podcasting, which I'm very familiar with, is awesome. Like for a very low amount of money, you can get thought leadership in the exact audience, and you can hang out with them for like an hour. That does not exist anywhere else. And then on the paid side, similar. Like if you have the right host, the right content, you've seen like the explosion of direct to consumer brands, like, BetterHelp, Manscaped, all those brands have like built an entire business off of this sort of targeting. So it's an incredible marketing vehicle.